Okay, a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody on the DATV Net.
A very good morning.
And how about switching the audio off? It seems to be working. Anyway, it's nice to have everyone on the DATV Net every Sunday this time. And I was getting a little bit worried because I only saw a few people on, but it appears that quite a few more have joined us. Also want to say hi to Frick, ZD6 Fox Zulu. He's watching. Looks like he's interested to come onto DATV. And I explained to him very briefly what Simon's new system's about. So hopefully we could assist the guy and let him come up on DATV as well. I haven't heard from Tom for a long time, and Leon's away on work. He'll only be back end of this month, unfortunately. Anyway, I also want to thank the Qatar Satellite Company for allowing us the opportunity to be on their satellite. Also wish to thank AMSAT DL, AMSAT, of course, UK, and of course the British Amateur Television Club. That's a very important club to join if you want to do DATV, because all the information is nicely put through on the Wikipedia type wiki link, and so you can go and study up all the different methods and ways to come onto this wonderful mode of amateur radio. Today, let's just have a quick glance at who's on the list. I tried something else to make it a bit bigger. We have Benno. You say you have RX problems. Well, if you have, you can maybe watch us on YouTube. And then to follow will be Phil. Hi, Phil. Mike Sierra Papa India Tango. Saw your signal earlier. Very nice signal. Hello to Graham, G3VKV. Nice to have you on board again, Graham. And hello to Martin, G8KOE. Martin, I got my setup working on the SDR console for narrowband, except I found all the pages that I couldn't find previously, but I can't get the transmitter to TX. I tried the test come up on the screen, but nothing goes out. Yet it's the very same Pluto I'm using to transmit on right now. So it's a bit concerning. Maybe there's a trick. I've gone through the menus as much time as I had available, but I did not see anything that was very obvious to get the Pluto to PTT. So maybe you've got a tip there. Hello to you, Mike, G0MJW. It's been quite a while. Hope you're well, and nice to have you back on. So with that, I'm going to then send the microphone over to Benno, and he can take it from there. Let me just get out of this page. So, Benno, if you don't mind taking it. Papa Alpha 3 Fox Bravo X-ray. I hope your receiving is okay now from ZA6 Yankee India.
Well, you had a great signal, Gary. Let's turn down a little bit down. I'm using a different headset. I'm not sure if that is a wise choice. At least it's more quiet on the background, but maybe I think I would get severe problems with Leon. Let's turn it a little bit down further, because yeah, that's probably a little bit better. I'm still going way in the red part. I will need to investigate that on OBS if I can get that better. Okay, well, to talk about the other problems I had, well, somewhere last weekend, I lost the RX for my big dish, and I'm not sure why. We had a severe wind, so I first thought it must have turned a few degrees, which is on this big dish, obviously a big issue. Um, I'm going to modify back to my other microphone because I don't think my audio is good enough. Let's turn my other microphone, which is a lot more noisy. But I think it would be better for Leon's likings. Okay. Well, anyway, the problem is not yet solved. I have an LNB here, well, over the last week I had a lot of rain showers doing some work and find a little bit light to do 10 minutes, half an hour work on the dish, and I have not yet found the real original problem. Obviously I turned the dish, but that didn't help. And then I found out that I could receive the narrowband, but I missed 5 dB signal to noise level, which is a lot. 1.8 meter dish easily goes for 40 dB signal to noise level on the narrowband, and I could only get it marginally up to 34 point something, 35-ish. And wideband was nothing at all. So then I moved to a different LNB. So now I have a bullseye on there and connected that, and again I had 34, 35 dB on the narrowband. I couldn't get it any better by turning the dish. Then I found that occasionally I get very big signals of the wideband. I could also receive that, which is strange because my LNB was on the narrowband, so it was on the on a different polarization. So I slowly turned the horizontal. I turned it about 45 degrees, and I could receive the narrowband less, but the wideband much better. And so at the moment I have rotated my LNB about 45 degrees, and I have almost maximum receiving, which is obviously something not possible. I'm using a POTI by antenna, so I cleaned out the tube of the POTI because I thought maybe it is rotating. There is something inside the tube, so I used some brass. I cleaned out the copper inside, and it is really clean. Well, and still I have the same problem. At the moment I have a bullseye at about 45-50 degrees for max receiving. Mind you, normally it would be at straight, or at least a few skew, a little bit skew, but yeah, I cannot understand what is happening. I have tried this one back, which gives me the same signal on the narrowband. I've tried this one at the same 30, well, I should show it this way, this skew, and I get less signal on the narrowband, but I don't get any signal on the wideband. Obviously this one has two outputs for the narrowband and the wideband. If I connect both, I have nothing. If I connect one, it works, and the other one, it works. So yeah, I'm kind of lost. Anyway, I now have a working system for the wideband, unfortunately not for the narrowband, and that's it needs to be more testing. Today we have perfect weather, but I had to do some other chores outside in the garden. That's about, and that's the reason why my stream was causing a lot of. I got a lot of messages who are using my my Twitch stream was not working, and in the end I displayed a message that my LNB didn't work. So to mention something positively, I played with this extensively, which is a fishbowl, mind you, €100, so which is kind of less than a Pluto, which is kind of scarce at the moment, and the Libra SDR, which is over €200. So this is a nice try. And with the previous version, I get very bad shoulders, 10 dB shoulders, which was max. But Everest gave us some later firmware updates, and this is now producing very nice shoulders, about 3 dB dBm signal on the on 2400, which is kind of normal, yeah, it is pretty stable. I have not yet have used it for the narrowband, and with my current dish I cannot use it anyway for the narrowband, but I've used it for the wideband already a few times, and produces a nice signal. So I would say it will be ready for us soon. It works with SDR console, and it works with SDR TV, and it works with SDR Easy. DATV Easy. Okay, well, that's so far. That was the good message. Passing it on to Phil. Microphone, yeah, the frequency is all yours, Phil. M0 PIT from Papa Alpha 3, Foxtrot Bravo X-Ray. Do I have a test card somewhere along the line?
Cheers, Benno. Thanks so much. Oh, look at that. Yeah, a bit of flare on the camera. That's the sun coming through. Wow, that's quite big, isn't it? Go on this one. That's still there with that one. Oh, it must be a really nice sunny day today. Go on this one. Yeah, there we go. Let's try that one. Yeah, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Yeah, Benno, I've got no idea what your problem is. I can say the obvious, which is like polarization, voltage, etc., etc., but I'm sure that you've been down that avenue. Yes, sounds interesting. Yeah, glad I ain't got that type of problem. Anyhow, what have I been doing? I haven't really been doing much. I don't really have a lot of really exciting things to talk about, really. The only thing that I have been playing around with, as you may remember, I was doing an I/O board for my controller for my PA, which is in a remote hut in the garden, and having it runs on a at the moment it runs on an Arduino Mega with an Ethernet shield sitting on the top of that, but it does have problems with speed, so that's why I potentially am upgrading it to a Nucleo 64, which is one of these boards. This one is totally compatible, pin compatible, with the standard Uno, which is that, and that is actually pin compatible, so the shields that fit on this will fit on here. And I've done all the software, everything worked, and my piggyback board, I put that on this morning and did basically some testing on it, and the Ethernet board wouldn't work. The Ethernet shield refused to transmit. Appears to be receiving, but it would not transmit any data. And to cut a very long story short, I took it off. I took the shield off and I put it on an Uno, and I ran a bit of test code. And first time I ran it, it didn't work. And I thought, oh, it's the shield that's gone. But when I powered it back up again, it did work. So that was a bit unusual. So what I did then was I measured the voltage on the pins that were being used to send and receive data to the shield. And I noticed that one of the pins, it was a little bit on the low side. The others were about just under 3.3 volts. But one of the pins, I think pin 11, I think, was at 3.1. Now I don't know if that is a problem, but anyhow, I checked the open circuit of the Nucleo, and that was showing up at 3.2. So I suspected it's something to do with the shield, and I just stuck a DVM on the pins that are used to communicate, and one of the pins has got a different DC impedance reading, or resistance reading, should I say. It's different, and that's as far as I've got with it. So at the moment I am suspecting that it is this Ethernet shield. Don't know. Actually, I don't even know if it actually supposed to work on a 3.3 volt system. I don't know. But anyway, that's where I am with that, and that's really what I've been playing around with. The rest of the stuff is domestic type stuff. So yeah, so that's really been my week. I haven't really, as I say, got a lot to talk about. So I think what I will do is I shall hand it over. Who's next? Graham. So I'm going to hand it over to Graham, I think. So let me find a test card. Let's have a look, see what test card we've got. Let's have a look. Test card 2, let's use this one. So let's put this up, and then I shall kill carrier, Graham, and it's over to you.
make sure it's all working. I think it is. Turn the sound down. Get me on the screen. I've got some sound turned up on something else. I'm not well prepared today. Right. Bit dark in here as well. Sorry about the lighting. There's no sun around this side of the house at the moment. So get the right screen on. That's better. Right, away we go. Well, sorry to everybody's having a lot of trouble. Everyone seems to be having trouble as well here. I think it's trouble week, isn't it, this week? And so they've captured Leon for a bit longer there before they allow him back to come retire for about the 5th time. But anyway, nice to see everybody on here. I've been playing around with this free DV thingy on HF. You can see it running in the background there. The screen on 5 megs, narrowband 1500 hertz, RAID version 4. Digital transmission seems to work. I've had quite a few QSOs on it. Quite fiddly to adjust the software, but thought I'd have a go, seeing as everybody else was. Works quite well on 5 megs with 5 to 10 watts. All around the UK, no problem at all until it gets to night time. But I've been occupying my mind a little bit to get it going. It's a right fiddle to get it going. Needs an absolutely pure audio signal into it before it can code it up. As regards the another problem I had at this end, just to let everybody know all my problems. I've managed to smash the 450mm 3cm dish up. It's up on a pole on the side of the side of a tower, just outside the window here, the 30-foot tower. And there's a stub mast halfway up the tower with a panel antenna on, which goes up and down, obviously, with the tower. But at the bottom is this other mast, which has got this rotator on, and a 450mm 3sem dish, which rotates. And of course, I took the mast down in the wind the other week, and I thought, well, I'll leave it for a while, put it back up next weekend or something. And what happened, I forgot it was down, didn't I? And I turned the antenna around, and it completely wrecked the dish. Luckily, it's a soft aluminium dish. It's one of the old practical wireless dishes, if anybody remembers one of those. And the spin rotator that's underneath it was so powerful, it actually ripped the dish off the feed. The feed's still there. It just folded the dish in half. So, unfortunately, it's a fair way up in the air, so it's a bit of a problem. I can't just put a new dish on because the focal point's different on the new dish I've got to put on there. So I'll have to change the dish as well. Never mind, we'll get done sometime. What else have I got? Yeah, I've got one setup here working on narrowband with just a Pluto transmit and receive. But I can't remember how I set it all up. I've got a 750mm dish, which is in the spare room in the front of the house, because the satellite's around the other side of the house from where I am at the moment. And I got the cables from that. I've got a LMB on there. It's modified with a GPS oscillator. And I've got 1248 meg for the IF. I've got a 9240 local oscillator. It's about as low as I can get the thing to actually go to produce a 1248 IF. It just about made it before it refused to lock. So I use 144 into the from here into a homemade transverter, which gives me about 8 watts on 2.4, and then into the 750mm dish. Get good signals. It's quite strong, even though it's on the inside of unmetallized glass. But a receive, I'm bringing it back into the shack, 1248 for the receive and 144 for the up, putting it into a 9700 and then locking the two together. It'll work quite well, all single knob control then. Right, so I better put it round, I think, while I gather my thoughts. I've only just managed to make it up here at 2 o'clock, switched on and some things didn't work. But put it round to Martin, KOE. Well, I worked, what did I hear? I heard 4FKK Martin on RAID DV from over there in, where is he? I think where it is now. Well, you know where he is. But he appeared on there. I didn't have a word with him though, so he's investigating the digital video on HF. Round to Martin, Jake KOE on the net, G3VKV. Put my new screen on if I can find it. Where are we? There we are. Something nice and bright for you to look at. So over to
Some audio, perhaps. Oh. Audio, perhaps. Yeah, I didn't get much of your transmission there, Graham, because weather conditions here seem to deteriorate, and you dropped way out with me. So other than I caught problems that you vandalised your dish, or one of your dishes, but that's not so good. Yeah, I've got a lot to add. I'm sort of using SDR television at the moment. One of the reasons is that I've got intermittent internet problems this end. I think we're still on. Yep, it's still working, but it keeps coming and going. And one of the advantages with SDR television is that it's obviously got the receive display at the bottom. So I'm able to monitor that, whereas if the internet goes, then I haven't got my standalone system set up. Anyway, and to you there, Gary, you are putting it into pass-through mode, are you? Which, you know, when I've done it, I've used the easy way, because I'm using DATV Easy. There's a little checkbox in there, so when you exit DATV Easy, it leaves it in pass-through mode. So I wonder whether you're not doing that, or not putting it in pass-through mode. There's only anything to think there. And Benno, yeah, I don't know what to say really. Your dish hasn't got bent slightly or whatever, but I dare say Mike will come up with more intelligent suggestions than me. I've got sort of sidetracked on something that I didn't think I'd get interested in. You know, when you started building these little transmitters, whisper transmitters, etc., I didn't see any interest in it whatsoever. Then suddenly I got interested, and I wasn't able to build anything, but I've invested in. Also sidetracked on looking at the aeroplanes, though I haven't got a very good aerial at the moment, but we will do. But TV wise, I'm tidying up the shack really, or the lounge, shall we say, where the station is, and generally playing around. But yeah, DATV Easy, not DATV Easy, SDR television is working very well. In fact, I'm surprised that it's working as well as it is, with the conditions that dropped off. The beacon had dropped down to sort of D2.1 or something, which normally up 4, 5. But weather conditions down here are not too good. Anyway, we've really got a lot more to add. Yeah, fine there, Phil. Yeah, I wouldn't have the patience to what you're doing. And the eyes aren't as good as they once were. But hopefully. Anyway, I'll pass it over to Mike. I'll stick up a test card, and then it's all yours there, Mike. G8KOE. Where's it gone? That's what I want.
Right, okay, I was running a bit too much power there. And now you're probably complaining I'm not running enough, so let me just increase it. There we go. Right, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending. Not a lot really to add. Been a bit busy at weekends. past few weeks. Let me just show you what I've been working on. So that's a radio berry, and I've been designing a 3D case and putting it in it. And now I'm struggling with the software because although I got it all configured and saved it, when I started it again it didn't remember any of the things that had been told to do. So I think there's something, depends on how you start it, so I need to work out where it's storing the configuration files. Anyway, that's the radio berry. Not a lot else really, so it's going to be a pretty short net. In the UK it's nice and sunny at the moment, as you can probably tell. I've not got the lights on in here, so it's possibly not ideal lighting, and the lighting at this time of year comes from behind me, which really doesn't help, but there you go. Anyway, good to see everyone on again. I'll maybe try getting on a bit more often going forwards, but not really been doing all that much. Cat 25 part 2 last week was good, and that took up all the time I had for doing QO-100 stuff, so that's why I wasn't on last week. Right, I don't see anyone else on the list, Gary, so I think it probably needs to go to you again. The dish, the PW dish, I've probably used to have one of those, but you'll just have to get another one, Graham, and next time, remember. Okay. Right. ZS6YI, round to you, Gary, G0MJW.
Okay, Mike. Beautiful, nice signal, as is everyone else today, so that's very good indeed. And yeah, Benno, you've got a mystery there. I've been thinking, what the heck? Maybe you haven't got the right voltages on, or perhaps the wrong cable, but I'm not sure what's going on. Let me see. I am locked, but yeah, that's quite a mystery. It's going to be something that hits you from behind, almost the tip that Martin gave me with that pass-through. You know, Martin, I never thought of the pass-through on a DATV Easy, which I'm using at the moment, and I'm just going to have a look if it's clicked on or off. But anyway, I'll go and have a look at that. That's a good tip, because I tried everything else in it. I even got the two-tone up and all that, all working. Vox worked, you name it. And when I put audio in it looked good, but there was nothing coming out. I even unplugged my PTT line and just shorted it. The amp came on, but there was no RF out of the thing. So I thought, now what the heck? Anyway, I'll go and have a look at that pass-through mode. You see, I never use narrowband on it really. I use the 9700. And by the way, Graham, I also used the higher IF on one of my LNBs with a GPS disciplined oscillator, and it worked on 1.1 gig or so, and then I just synchronized the 9700. I do have the QNI up converter, and I've got actually two QNI up converters and two QNI down converters. But here's the funny thing. On the one down converter, it's converting to a different frequency completely. So and there's something wrong with a little EEPROM I think they've got in there. I think they actually have an EEPROM. And so I need to reflash that. And then on the other up converter, it's exactly the same problem. It's transmitting way out of the band. So I'll have to redo that. And you know, I was fast asleep because my daughter was here just for a week. She went back on with little William, went back on Wednesday to the UK, and I could have given her those two things to send it off to the guys at CUNY. So just have a look, why is this thing not doing? Because it's got this old-fashioned port that you, and I don't have a TTL converter. Well, I have, but I did try one and didn't take the program. Must have been doing something stupid. Anyway, yeah, sorry to hear about that dish, Martin. Not Martin, Graham. Yeah, that's not nice. And as Mike says, you'll have to remember. But yeah, these things do happen, don't they? At the moment, I've got the painters in painting the whole house, and they invaded the shack. Oh my goodness! And I had to take a lot out down to the store. And now my wife thinks this is a jolly good idea. Let's clean up the shack. I can't really argue that. I've got no defense because it's really all upside down at the moment. I must get that sorted and get it back to something normal. I've just been too busy at work to do any real projects. I'm busy with a little power supply, stupid thing, but to take about 8 USB ports, because I have a lot of GPS disciplined oscillators. It's now all nicely sorted and back from Leo Bodner. They were very quick and very, very fair with the price. So I sent another one, which I forgot to add last time. So they'll repair that. Then I'm nicely sorted with GPS disciplined oscillators again. Anyway, let's just see. I want to see my frequency here. Seems to be okay. I'm running 50 megs on the on the Pluto, and then the normal 25 megs at the moment on the LNB. So I haven't done anything fancy with it on the DATV side. I just want to say hi to GW7BZY. I can't wait for him to come up. He's done so many changes to his system, and we're looking forward to seeing what the advantages will be. But it sounds interesting, so can't wait for that to happen. And then hello to Peter. He is DK3 Zulu Fox from Hanover, and also to Ashley, GE8 Delta Papa Hotel Stroke Alpha in now where's this? Spielplatz, UK. That sounds like German, so I'm a little bit confused. But anyway, hi Ashley again, and nice to have you guys on frequency. Right, nothing else really to report this end. I just want to see what my wave looks like. The signal's out, not too bad on the ICOM 9. What the hell is the thing? There's no number here. It's a commercial receiver, very nice thing. And now and then I switch it on just to check. And I did have to use it to check the narrowband last week on the IC 9700. So that worked out well. Okay, so it is a rather short net. Back to you, Benno, and your second mic was better. But when you turned the audio down on your first mic, there was no problem, really. So back to you, sir. Papa Alpha 3 Fox Bravo X-ray with the haunted LNB from ZA6 Yankee India.
Yeah, Gary, thank you for leading the net today. What about the reception? Well, every day I have worked a little bit on it, and I will find the real solution. Well, the real problem, basically. Actually, the cable itself is a unique cable with two coax cables combined of next to each other, which is the right impedance for. It's a twin coax cable, so which is ideal for the wide and the narrow band. But the minute I connected the other port, I get strange signals. So. It's more or less that I need to figure out what's going on, and maybe the cable is broken. That's a good option, but it goes only 4 or 5 meters, and most of it I can check it. So it's somewhere outside. Maybe the cable is bad somewhere. And that's at the moment the part where I'm looking, but even my bias voltages, which is something I built 3 years ago, um, I have took it apart. I put it back together. It seems to work, but the minute I try to put the wideband on, I expect at the moment, obviously in the narrowband max signal, and I can't get the narrowband if I put wideband voltage on there. So yeah, it's still a mystery for me, and I will find out what, and probably it will be something very simple in the end, but I can't get my head on it. And yes, Graham damaged big dishes which are hanging on the side of mast. Yeah, it's always dangerous if there's not all the space you need. Yeah. Well, that's all about that. Thanks for leading the net. Have a nice week, everyone. By the way, in the Netherlands we have also perfect weather. Yesterday it was a nice storm with a lot of rain coming over. So yesterday it wasn't any time to do outside work. But today we had perfect weather. It's the sun, a little cloud, but a lot of blue sky in the outside. So I'm using this camera as well. I can use the other camera, but that camera is yeah, it has different lighting, and I don't think at the moment it's the best choice. Okay, 73 is all, and meet you again on the air. And by the way, Martin, I hope everything is okay with the missus, and you're able to manage that part. Okay, and by the way, that's also something I wanted to comment on. SDR TV. I like SDR TV. I can run SDR TV, but I get dropouts, and I'm not sure why. I've tried it on the network. I've tried it on USB, but I can get dropouts every few seconds. The signal's going completely out, and within a half a second the signal's coming back on, and obviously that gives locking problems, but besides that, so I haven't figured out how to solve that problem. Again, same problem on the network and on the USB, so I don't know yet what the root causes is of that. Well, passing it on to Phil from good luck with your shield from Papa Alpha 3 Fox Bravo X-Ray. 73 is all, and test card I have somewhere along. Bye bye.
Oh, there we go. Let's try the other camera. That's better. Not that it improves me, but stops that glare at the back. Yeah. Right. Cheers, Benno. Yeah, your audio on your first over. Yeah, it sounded as if you got a noise gate on it, and it sounded as if that was coming in some processing. But certainly your second mic is a lot better. Yeah, much better. Yeah, I don't really have a great deal to say, really. Yeah, Graham, your dish, yeah, that must have... very powerful rotator by the sound of it. But, yeah, I suppose these things happen. We've all done things like that, forgotten where something was or whatever, and you turn it on and then bang, yeah. Yeah, it happens. Yeah, I mean, my little board here. I'm going to drag out the circuit diagram for the Ethernet board and piggyback board, and I'm going to have a look to see how the I/O pins connect to it, because I think sticking a DVM on it, just measuring resistance, one of the pins did appear to be different, a lot lower, and I'm not sure what other components, if any, are on that I/O connection. I think it just goes straight into the chip, and if so, then I must have done some damage to it, but who knows, we'll find out one way or another. Right, as for me, well, this is my last net until December. I'm going on one of my little travels again, and I'm not back until the very, very end of November. So I don't think I think I'm back on a Monday, I think. So it won't be until December that you guys will see me again. Well, certainly not on this net, anyhow. So I wish you all well, etc., etc. Have a good few weeks, etc., until I see you again. I'm going to hand it over to Graham. So let's find a test card. Shall I put up me wobbly test card if I can find it? There's me wobbly test card. Put that up, and then I shall kill the carrier, and it's over to you then, Graham.
All right. G3 VKV. Turn the power up a bit for, hang on, let's get rid of the sound. For Martin. Right. Probably too strong. I'm 7.7 on mine. I know, no. Turn the other volume down. That's better. Right. Get me on the screen and get the right one. That's it. I've changed the light. I've moved the light around. I think my lighting needs completely reorganising. Although it's producing a glare, isn't it, on the screen? It's, I need to rearrange the lights quite considerably in here, I think. Let's see if I can get rid of that glare. Not really. Put it back up to the default. Get a bit further away. The light's too near now, so it's getting a flare on it. Anyway, not to worry. Yeah, Gary, you're 9.2 with me. Benno's 9.7. Phil 7.8. And at the moment, I'm 7.5. And the beacon is about 10 with me at the moment. It was up to 10.5 yesterday. I don't know quite. I've never had it that high before. But I think it's a case of a few trees being chopped down here, and the view to the satellite not going through the leaves on the top of an apple tree. So seems to have made everything stronger. The only thing that's not working is this dish. Yeah, it's ages old, the dish. It's been up in the air a long time. It's had the feed redone because it was in danger of letting water in. Penny feed on the end. But it gets moss taken out of it every 2 or 3 years. But it's had its uses. But the new one is slightly smaller with a different focal point. I've got a bigger one, but that makes it worse. It hits the guttering as well as the tower. So I was going to put a 67 one up there. Light's a bit bright actually with it up above me like this. Get a bit further away. Not organised here at all. Right, yeah, I think it's too much more. You can see the so there's the RAID system on in the back. I haven't tried it on 14 megs yet. I haven't worked a VK with it, but I've used it on 2 meters, which is not really much point. But on 5 megs, it's very good at producing a clean, noise-free signal, which it would be, down to below, down to -2 dB. So it does do what it says. It works at very low level, but obviously it doesn't like a lot of fading. So bringing out a newer version of it with an even narrower bandwidth, 800 hertz, I think it's 1.1500 hertz at the moment bandwidth. Right, so I'll say cheers to everybody. I must get the lighting sorted out properly in here. I don't think it's still not right now, of course. It's one thing. It's the most important bit of the whole lot, isn't it? Oh, I've probably got a picture here of where are we? I might have a picture. No, I can't find it. I don't think there's a picture of the antenna on the house. There's a tower, triangular tower up the back of the house. And this is on a small tower, just not a small mast at the side, mainly for access, and it doesn't need to be up any higher. And feeding it is fed with waveguide, so it can't be a mast that goes up and down. There's about 18, 20 foot of waveguide actually feeding the dish. But I can work up into the Lake District with it from here without too much problem. But I work GM from it here with I've got about 8 watts, so I'm wasting the power and not having a good dish. But I've got a nice big 750 dish with a feed on it, but there's nowhere to put it. Right, okay, cheers to everybody. Hope Martin's getting me okay now. I've turned the power up. I think it's come down a bit, actually. No, it doesn't. It's up. I'm 7.4 with me. I don't know what I am with you now, Martin. I've turned it up. So cheers to everybody, and round to Jake KOE, G3VKV, going to test card, and then back to Martin.
Yeah, Roger. Let's see that we've got some sound. Yeah, Roger. Yep, your MER of 6.8 with me. The beacon's down to 8.8 at the moment. It was exceedingly strong. Was that yesterday or the day before? But it fluctuates. We've got a bit of sunshine at the moment, which we didn't have earlier. So it was. It keeps going from 1 minute. The sky was somewhat black when I lost you, to put it mildly, and we get heavy rain. But at the moment, we've got some sunshine. So not too bad out in the garden. Oh, it doesn't look so good from that one. As we go to the front one. The front cam doesn't seem to be online at the moment. That's at the bottom of the garden. Right. And to you there, Gary. I don't know which version of DATV Easy, but 3.8, it's just below where you put the IP in. It says pass through on exit, and that's what I have checked when I'm using it. But at the moment, I'm obviously not using it. But I don't go on narrowband, I must admit, very much until I find it very difficult to get inspired on it, and I don't know why. But yeah, I had DX Patrol. I'd say used to run from the ASU and go up that way, and convert down with I can't think what SDR I used, but nothing special, and it all worked out exceedingly well. But nah, I just somehow it just doesn't do it. So we got sidetracked with Whisper, which is doing quite well. I don't know how we're doing at the moment. He says probably nothing will work. It's just clicking on things and nothing's happening. So am I actually? Oh, it should do. Let's go to that one. That's 40 meters. Well, being heard. Let's update and go to 20 meters. 17 meters is usually interesting, but it probably won't be at the moment. yeah, 17 meters seems to be heard. This is in the last hour. But, 15. I might as well go through them all whilst I'm at it. 15. It's also 12. Perhaps there's nobody on there. And 10 meters. But yeah, 17 seems to be always pretty good for me on my end-fed half-wave with a 49-to-1 ballon on it. So yeah, so that's what we've got sidetracked and playing with, and the little device that I'm using, which and to you there, Phil. Yeah, fine on your travels again. The camera you changed over to, I didn't think it was as sharp, and it hunts every so often. But you know, apart from that, it was okay. No real major problems. I've been playing with various cameras. I've got the ear cam, which shows roughly what the station's like. I've now moved my monitor, which is sitting up top there on the computer, which is the ride receiver. So I've got a ride receiver going, and then 3 other monitors, and a frog on the wall, which can be changed. So yeah, just a general little sort of tidy up. I used to have that down on the desk, and it was taking up a lot of room, the monitor that's on top of the computer. And we got the other camera, which is the sort of side cam, which so we've got that one, go back to that one. Anyway, good to get back on the net, and yeah, thanks for all your best wishes from everybody. Yeah, we're coping. I had to dash out and make a cup of tea, which is so I missed a little bit. I was listening to what was being said from a distance, and be interested there, Benno, when you do sort out your problem. I think it's a matter of almost going back to basics, even as you say, with a piece of cable and such like, and just going through it all, even though you think what you're doing, it can't be. But anyway, the narrowband I found always used to leak through anyway. So I think I'd just concentrate on the wide band initially. But it should be able to switch over between one and the other. I know, it's an interesting one. Anyway, and to you there, Mike. Yeah, what you do with your 3D printer just absolutely amazes me. You make it look so easy. You're going to tell me it is easy. Well, I don't think it is. So I'm envious in that side of things. Being a dyslexic idiot, I still remember, as I said, I think I've said it before, building the Mullard 520 amplifier and spending ages filing out the chassis, a complete mirror image, which made it a nightmare to build. So me and a 3D printer, I just don't think we'd get on. Anyway, good. Thanks for running the net again there, Gary. I'll try and make it up when I can. Not always going to be able to, but it just slotted in. Just about finished dinner when and done the washing up. Right, test card, and back to Mike from G8KE.
Okay. I'm going to assume that's all working. I think it is. Okay. Make sure I mute myself. Go onto the face camera so you can see me. That was the garden, by the way, just to show you that we have sunshine occasionally in this part of the world. But it is autumn, so it's starting to get cold. And today's a nice exception. It was pretty awful yesterday afternoon. Today, good. Right, well, yes, I'm also dyslexic, so I have the same problem. Didn't do it a mirror image there. But I've been struggling with getting the this VU thing to work, but I've got it now. You can't see that, can you? They are actually doing things, these controls, but you can't see because I got my hand in the way. Anyway, the volume control, for example, is working, and took a while to get that to work. I tried to use the firmware that the designer had come up with, but no joy, because it's a few years old and not compatible with the latest version as far as I could tell. And then it became obvious, just use the MIDI interface, and other people have done that already, so it's all sorted for you. The problem, as always, is finding the right files on the internet that actually work, and filtering out the ones that are old and don't. And the same goes for advice. So it's a little bit tricky, but once you've got the right bits together, it works okay. And 3D printing is actually quite easy, Martin, because you don't have to do it yourself. The computer does it, so you don't end up with that dyslexic problem of getting things swapped over and reading things left to right instead of right to left, which is always a problem. Okay, not much else to add from my point of view, but good to see everyone. Benno, I didn't actually work out what was wrong with your LMB. Wasn't following that. I was a bit distracted, so maybe you could say if there's anything that we can do to help. But it could just be that it's off frequency, or it might be that it doesn't work, or that you've lost it, or someone's stolen it, or the cable's broken, the dish is pointing the wrong way, all sorts of things. I don't know. I missed it. But I do know that with a 2.5 metre dish, or 2.4 metre dish, the pointing is so fine that it's, you know, it's a turn of a, well, not even a turn, but a tightening of a screw can go from absolute peak to nothing when you've got a 0.3 dB beam width. Right, I think I'll pass it back to Gary then. 7 everyone. Hope everyone has a good week. G0 MJW.
Yeah, that's indeed the problem. I eventually put two actuators on, the 2.4 meter dish, and then I had to slow the actuators down so slowly to make it tune in. But now it's fine. And once it was there, I locked everything, and that was that. But anyway, I want to just also add a very good hello to let me see, Stuart, ZR1 Whiskey Tango, and of course our old friend Nigel. Nigel, it's nice to see you back on, Nigel. 2 Echo 0 Echo Hotel Hotel. Just looking off on the YouTube screen. Always nice to have Nigel on. And just to go down the list, yeah, Benno, yeah, I hope you sort it out, but that's really something to speak about next week. I'd like to hear what you discovered. Oh boy, these things can mess you around. Sometimes they're pretty obvious, like the advice I just got through from Martin, the pass-through mode. Yeah, it's. However, I've got the older version, so I've got that on the system setup on DATV, Pluto DVB general setup, and it says there, pass through in brackets SDR console. Never thought of that. And that's on the Adlam Pluto DATV controller by Fox 50EO. Is that right? But anyway, yeah. And many years back I did battle with the same thing. Shows you don't remember all the little quirks. But anyway, thanks for that, Martin. I'm going to try it immediately after this net. And then, Phil, have a lovely tour or travels, as you call it, and drive safely and come back safely. And I hope you're going to take many photos that we can enjoy with you there. But have a good time, and thanks for coming up so regularly. Graham, your lighting wasn't bad the last over. Quite acceptable. I didn't see any glare. But I'm sure once you've got the lighting a little bit more pronounced, it will improve things. But it was perfectly fine on the last over, so no problem to read you there. And yeah, Martin, thanks for the dope, and please wish Carol all the best from our side. We do know the difficulties, and certainly hope things will improve with time. Yeah, winter coming up, it's going to be difficult, so keep warm, eh? And Mike, yeah, my grandson, Leslie, he's dyslexic as well. But he does 3D printing like a bomb. I bought him a very nice so he learned around anyway. You got some time. But he's printed so many things. I 365, one of these. We use it at work, but we also use Power Shape and Power Mill, which is more sophisticated, but we're making more sophisticated parts. But for normal CAD, he's having a great deal of fun drawing his own things, and then he's on. Now, why did I stall? I see on YouTube I stalled. Anyway, be that as it may, I'll sort this out later. With that, I'm going to close the net. Wish everyone a very happy week, and we hope to see you next week. This is ZS6YI closing the net and saying cheerio to all.